Today I want to tell you guys a story that has happened recently on Rec Room. It was my first real disturbing and uncomfortable experience on this game, and I'm hoping this doesn't happen to any other people, especially kids on Rec Room. But before we get into the story, I want to thank you guys for 300 subscribers. This honestly made my day, and again, thank you guys so much. Okay, here's what happened. It involved someone on Rec Room who I'm not going to name, so in this video we'll just call him Bob. It starts off a couple months ago with me in the rec center, and I'm just talking to this one dude. He had a friend that came over and was talking to us, his friend being Bob. Everything's pretty chill, and Bob friends me, I accept it, and shortly after got off of Rec Room. About a week later, I'm playing with Xander and some other Rec Room friends when Bob joins. He asks how I've been doing, and we're all having a good time just talking with each other. We all go and play some games, and Bob tells us a little more about himself. Some of which is that he's gay and 17. Keep that in mind because that's important later in the story. A couple of days later, I noticed that he's always requesting invites and inviting me, sometimes even joining off of other people in my game just to get in and talk to me. This eventually annoys me, so I start appearing offline. But one day, when I was in the rec center, Bob unintentionally joins the same server as me and starts asking me to start appearing online for him so we could play more. Rocky, Xander, and I start noticing that he's getting kind of weird with wanting to constantly play with me. One thing that I noticed across all of this is that every day since the gift a friend machine came out, Bob's been gifting me every day. At this point, I'm getting very weirded out. With Rocky and Xander knowing that I'm creeped out, they start randomly inviting Bob without me knowing. Keep in mind, they were just messing with me just because they're my friends. And almost every time he's joined us, ever since they started inviting him, he's been slipping in a dirty joke/remark about me. Sometimes some of us wouldn't even notice until afterwards, when one of us would just say, "Why would he say that?" Now things take a bad turn when we were playing PvP the Pros, and Bob found out that we were playing, and he joined. Xander went over and talked to him for a while and came to me shocked. He tells me that Bob said something really dirty about me, and I'm gonna try to keep this more kid-friendly, but he basically said that when he sees me, he gets excited down there. Xander then tells me that when Bob said that, Bob started apologizing right after saying stuff like, "I'm sorry dude, I'm gross, my bad." A couple minutes passes by and Xander has an idea. In PvP the Pros, you can spawn on a helicopter, and you can climb on top to a point where people in the helicopter can't see you, but you can still hear them. Xander tells me to climb up there and mute my mic. Xander says that he'll tell Bob to die so he could respawn on the helicopter. So while I'm up on top of the helicopter with my mic muted, I hear Bob spawn. Xander stops him to talk with him. Xander says, "Just be honest. You keep saying these things about John, so what do you think about him?" And what Bob says I should have expected, but hearing it was one of the most uncomfortable things in my life. Bob says I have a little romantic interest in John. Now let me get this straight. I'm 15, he's 17, I'm straight, and most importantly, this is a video game. After hearing this, I immediately unmute my mic, unfriend Bob, jump back down into the helicopter and look at Bob, and I said, "You're freaking weird, bro, I'm 15. And I go back to my dorm and just think for a couple minutes about what he said. Xander joins me and says that after I left, Bob looks at Xander and says, "Come on, dude, you knew he was up there." We were both pretty shook by this and we weren't talking much. I decided to gift him film so I could put a message on the box. I typed, "You need help. I'm only 15, I'm straight, and this is literally a game. You're weird, man." Almost immediately afterward, Bob gifts me with a message saying, "I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry that I'm a disgusting, gross, horrible person. This is why my parents don't love me." Me and Xander looked at each other feeling kind of bad, but still shooken up by this guy. Xander still had him friended to message him, and Bob messaged Xander saying that he felt like this for a while, and that he's booking a therapy session to help him not be like this anymore. Me and Xander just stayed in my dorm and talked about this for about half an hour, and we eventually got off. About a week later, Xander and me wanted to talk with him again to see if he had anything to say. He was online, and I invited him, muted my mic, and waited for Xander. Xander joined and asked Bob if he had anything he wanted to say. He said other than 1,000 apologies, no. He also said he wanted to look past this and that in the future we could all be friends again. I was honestly still disgusted by this whole situation, so I said, "We can't be friends again because of what you did, but it's good that you're getting help so this can't happen to anyone else in the future," and then I left. Xander was still with Bob, and Xander told me that Bob said, "I understand why he feels like that." So yeah, that was pretty much what happened. Definitely my most uncomfortable experience on Rec Room, just because he could have been 18 because he told me he was 17 a couple months ago. So just with that thought that a possible adult on Rec Room was saying all those dirty, disgusting stuff about a 15-year-old, I thought it would make an entertaining story for a video. So the lesson here is watch out who you're playing with, I guess. Thank you guys for listening to this.